down. Okay, so oh, please stay. So I've got the thing balanced about in my bathroom, hanging off of the medicine cabinet mirror. I have had an argument with this gooseneck thingy a few times already. I am not happy with it at all. But this seems to be the, seriously? Okay. I even aimed right for there. So yeah, this seems to be the, kind of night we're having. So, why am I in the bathroom? I'm in the bathroom because I have a glorious over-the-door, ironing board. I've wanted one of these for so goddamn long, and I got one last month. Oh, wait, I know what that's about. So, here's a, wait. Oh, I know what that's about. So, let's see. Oh, here's something funny. Wait, that's not this. That's odd. Why is that in there? Steam travel iron. Oh, wait, is this the one? Oh, right here. Do not store iron in carton. And yet, that's what I do. Store on heel stand. I'm not 100% what they mean on that, but, so now that we've seen that my sensibilities fly in the face of the recommended manufacturer directions, Borda sit maich dernod wedi bod Ruadhán I cresa fy cartref morn. Oh, wait, no. Borda sit maich dernod wedi bod fy bobl ryfedd. Ruadhán I cresa fy cartref morn. Good morning. How's your day been, my weird people? I'm Ruadhán, and welcome to my spooky home. Whatever. I forgot to say in now in Saisneg and now in English, but whatever. That's how shit works sometimes, and okay, there we go. I was just hoping my eyelash glue wasn't deciding that it was going to all harden up. This is a bit older than... Oh, yeah, that smells fine. I remember when I got this. So, one of these days, I'm going to show people how I do false eyelashes when I do them. Because I learned the hard way that strip lashes and especially strong eyeglass prescriptions do not get along very well. So I use singles on the good side. I had a wonderful teacher for that. That was my brother-in-law's, or my eldest half-sister's widow. His lifelong friend Sheila, and Sheila and Chan have known each other since they attended an all-boys boarding school, and she's very open about that. So yeah, if you wonder why did somebody named Sheila attend an all-boys boarding school, well, think about that. Remember who I am, and that my brother-in-law was like the first openly bisexual person I've ever known personally, and more to the point, had a lot of friends who were part of London's old West End theater, avant-garde theater community back in the late 60s and 70s. So, like a lot of his older friends were West End theater queers. Excuse me. So, yeah, like I said, just think about that. Try not to hurt yourself. Oh, we've got 3 people in the chat tonight, and yet only 1 thumbs up. Why is that? Have you all stopped loving me? So, why am I here with the iron when I'm supposed to be doing my niece's jacket? Well, funny nobody asked that, because as I'm about to explain, one of the hazards of working with bleach, which is why I prefer to get my denims in white if I'm going to color them, but it's not always what we've been allotted, is it? No, it's not always what's available to us. So one of the hazards of working with bleach is that even really good, like, this was practically a brand new jacket when I found it at one of those, like, take an item, leave an item sort of community closet things, right? So yeah, sometimes when you work with bleach, even with denim, you will get random holes in shit. Why? Bleach is highly corrosive. It is incredibly destructive. This is why you should not use bleach if you're going to be working with bones in, art things, right? So I am going to cut an iron-on patch, and this is not as light as I'd like it, but in the so I did wash this just to make sure things would turn out right. So the little test strip I did, or like test column, I suppose, that I did on the jacket last week, that actually looks pretty nice. And where it went over slightly darker spots like here, that still looks really nice. So I'm not too worried about this altering the color any much, or all that much. And as I had said, I'm bringing this iron, which, turning it on might help. Wait, what does this recommend for these? Check fiber content, wash it, or something. Heat dry iron for 5 minutes on cotton setting. Okay. Okay, whoa, not linen, cotton. Yeah, turning it on might help. So yeah, I'm going to iron on some patch. This little, like, iron fusible denim patch. Got it from Joanne. It's Dritz. This is a brand that's been around forever. So yeah, it says and then when I'm gonna let the I'm then going to let the patched parts cool, because there's a couple here. So let's see, there's one here under the sleeve there. I think these are the only ones. Are these the only ones? I hope so. Okay, so we've got one hole right here under the collar. Oh, we've got a couple under this, on the underarm of the sleeve here. So one big one there, and then a couple smaller ones. But, so as I told family friend who is, little niece has been a ward, that I also plan to bring some fabric paints as well as some patches. So if she wants to paint, little bits all around on some of the stuff to, kind of like mask the seams a bit, that's all up to her. Like, it's going to be her jacket. I'm just going to, like, do the dyeing part, because this took me forever. Like, if I were keeping track of the hours, it would not surprise me if this took me well above like 36 hours total so far in the process. Like, kind of wish I was keeping track of the hours just so, just in case somebody wants me to make a similar thing and I can therefore, okay, let me do it this way. So, gonna do this kind of junk here. So, okay, looks like we are focused on the patch area. So, you want to, you don't want corners. I mean, it says this on the card, but just in case you're one of those people who doesn't read things very thoroughly, I watch Graveyard Girl. She's entertaining. You might also want to have some kind of card, not necessarily this one, but to protect your ironing board, you want something between the denim that you are going to patch and the thing, and the ironing board. So so as you see, I cut it, I rounded off the corners, and it should fit nicely right thereabouts. And oh yeah, this part is gonna be red, so. Oh, okay, that's probably not as hot as I want it, definitely. So I am going to, no, I'm not going to limbo. My back is not up for that, but I'm going to crawl under the ironing board and go get the, dyes, and let's watch this tiny Buddha here while I need to put him up on one of my sale things. Hello, Murnau. Murnau, why have you not swept the floor? Search, search, everybody search. Oh, you know what Scooch needs to do? Okay. Okay, so. Okay, just because I don't see too well, I'm going to use the glass marker here. So. That one is pink. This one is red. Okay. Because in the bottles they look very similar, even though on the fabric they look significantly different. But okay, tiny Buddha. I don't know where he came from, but I've had him for years. Oh yeah, that's nice. As you see, I'm an old person, and I'm sure you've seen in old movies like, the housewife or maid or butler kind of characters will lick a finger and touch the iron to see like how well it's heated up so far. I do this. This is an old person thing. Because obviously this was made before there were indicator lights on the Okay, yeah, that's for the steam setting. So yeah, now, the reason that I use this iron is not just because I'm a weirdo who loves antique household appliances, but because when you do this kind of iron-on stuff, or this kind of iron-on stuff, which I'm going to put on, yeah, I'm going to put it on my violet jacket, not the chartreuse one. So, when you do these iron-on things, it is best to have an iron with a completely flat surface. Now, granted, this one has 5 little steam holes, which, you know, that's I mean, it's a steam and dry iron, right? But these are small enough and few enough that it should not mess around the it should not mess the adherence of the glue on the backs of these. So so yeah, like that's why you want an iron that is as flat as possible. Ideally, this wouldn't even have these, but it does, because this is what I have, and that is why I got this, because, you know, I mean, yes, I could, you know, attach the little steam jobby on here for, you know, steam iron jobs that I'd want to do, but I have a separate steamer. I have a separate handheld steamer for that. Why? Because this was $2 at the thing. No, this was a little bit more than that. No, I took the label off. Okay. But yeah, like this was something like $2, $3. The other one was similar price. So my $5 clothes pressing setup here. So like I said, for anything with like this iron-on glue on the back, you really want a flat iron, like ideally completely flat. This is arguably like more holes than it wants, but they are small enough and sparse enough and concentrated in one area that I can do it this way. Now I remembered that I've been hoping to what's it called? Do like little topics while I'm doing these every week. And unfortunately, like, I don't know. Well, it's a long story, but it's like I didn't feel like anything topical was worth talking about this week. I have been on a bit of a YouTube watching hiatus. Like, I will get in moods where YouTube feels like it will stress me out a little bit more than I want it to. And in part, that's because of, like, a lot of the channels that I watch are a bit more politicized and all of that. And plus, like, right now, there's that nonsense where Jimmy Snow decided he didn't want a YouTube career as much as he thought he did. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there are several people making videos about this. And, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to go through with the film and upload one, but I think I'll just, like, get it off my chest here. And if I feel like going back and making a you know, like going with the little scripted thing that I wanted, that I already wrote up most of. So yeah, in the event that you might be unawares, Jimmy Snow is a YouTuber, duh. He is best known for his former standalone series, Dear Mr. Atheist. This has now since become a segment on his apparently not great late night talk show style series called The Sometimes Show, because it is, I don't know. I remember he explained some kind of reasoning for it, but it sounded stupid, so I didn't commit it to memory. Anyway, oh, that's nice. Okay, so Jimmy Snow has decided to double down on some shit he didn't even need to get involved in, especially given how much he says he hates internet drama. But, you know, so there's this thing. You might be aware of this this other YouTuber named with the initials GH. if you, like myself, are a King of the Hill fan, you might be tempted to think that means Good Hank. I was really hoping that meant Good Hank. After all, Cotton always wanted a son named Hank, in spite of having a son named Hank. And then he, like, did a thing, he elaborated and said he wanted a good son named Hank. So, yeah. Speaking of abusive and manipulative bastards, why do I say speaking of abusive and manipulative bastards? Well, like I said, you might be aware of the YouTuber not known as Good Hank. And how she like went on a rampage after Rachel Oates. Now, Rachel Oates at one time was a friend of Mr. Jimmy Snow, and he went on like a 4-part thing a couple years ago. I want to say this was October-ish of 2019. It was definitely 2019, where he attempted to sort of synopsize this this feud that lasted several months between a trans tuber who I really feel for them. Like this person, Ethel Thurston, also known better by her channel name, though that's a bit of a misattribution there, because she's made it very clear that not only is she behind the channel, but also her wife Edita, who is like the primary reason that they're living in India this last few years, and also Ethel's friend, a Levi named Bird. That's their channel name, so known as Levi. And so yeah, where was I going with this? But yeah, like Ethel has been through a lot. Like I want to make that clear. Like I feel I really truly want Ethel to get the serious mental health help that she needs to better function. And it is clear that she is oh crap. I just noticed a spot here did not, like I went a little bit, probably skidded while I did this, which is not uncommon, but on the good side, this stuff is so yeah, like for some reason now, trust me, it'll be relevant why I'm going all the way back to 2019, like October 2019. So yeah, like well over a year and a half ago at this point. So yeah, like actually, like this feud goes back to I want to say at least March, either February or March of 2019. So over 2 years ago at this point, this whole thing started. Trust me, this will become relevant. Believe me, I scripted it all out. So yeah, where was I going with this? Right. Jimmy Snow, right. So, so yeah, the whole thing started, when, Stephen Woodford, I believe, who is who's best known for his YouTube channel, Rationality Rules. He did a video ostensibly hoping to defend the oh gosh, be right back. Okay, So, because I'm a dumbass, I didn't get a secondary kind of thing here. But I've got my old drop cloth thing. Now I don't need to go, hopefully don't need to go back to the ironing. So, yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't started using this this old beach towel as a drop cloth when I paint, because it's like, I love whales, and this is like clearly vintage 80s or so. I want to say 80s. I want to say late 80s. Of course the tag, oh wait, tag is right here. Okay. Wash separately prior to use. 100% cotton, made in China. Meredith, New Hampshire. Oh, okay, but the tag looks very 80s. I mean, at the most recent, this would be like 1991, right? So, and not because like I could get probably decent on the vintage market for it, but because I really like it. I really like it. I really do. You know what? I will, Okay, so that hasn't been off more than a minute. So where was I going? Right. So yeah, like I said, this kind of began with the whole Ethel v. rationality rules bullshit, and trust me, it is some cockamamie bullshit. Cause okay, his first video, which he has since apologized for, like profusely, like many times over, it attempted to like defend the sanctity of ladies' sport, and ended like he included a bunch of dumbass I think Joe Rogan clips that just made him look bad, and ended on a quote along the lines of women's sport being taken over by a Y chromosome. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why, honey, why? Now, he has sent, like I said, Steve Woodford, he has since admitted that he put his foot in his mouth several times over. He has profusely apologized. He has read up the scientific literature, and he has noticed that, okay, yeah, it's a bit more complicated than he was initially making it, and all of that happy horse shit. And like I said, like the important part is that he not completely private, but like that unlisted, so that like you know, so that it's like still available for reference, but is no longer public. So it's like, you know, and here's where it gets hella complicated, because, and where like it becomes far more obvious the more you get into it, that like why I said that Ethel Thurston is a very difficult person to empathize with and have sympathy for and feel compassionate towards, because they have been through some legitimate shit. They're very open about it on several of their YouTube videos. Ethel prefers she or they, so if I like go back and forth between the two, that's why. Now there are some older videos where that were made during this whole debacle from 2019 that refer to Ethel as a he, but that's because at that time Ethel was of the, you know, was feeling like there is no incorrect pronoun to use for them. Okay, so that's why you might see some discrepancies there. It's not intentional misgendering. It's people going on like what she literally said at that time, and like going with he just because, like, I don't know, just like for whatever they were saying, it was easier, or well, there's a couple people who are being like clearly with a transphobic agenda in why they were doing that, but that's neither here nor there. So the whole thing. So, oh crap, I forgot to round that off. Now, to be fair, this was one of the sections with lighter ripping, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. What's done is done. So, where was I going? Right. Okay. So yeah, then so yeah, like Woodford's first retraction video. It was not great. In fact, like there have been people that I've spoken with about this since who agree with me that like why he thought it was a good idea to give that first retraction-esque video a thumbnail that likened him to Galileo. Right? Like think about like he basically like superimposed his head onto a painting of Galileo standing before, I think it was Vatican Court. So why was Galileo on trial? For saying that, for contesting a terracentric universe, right? So like, he was going about like, on a heliocentric universe, or at least, solar system, right? Like the understanding of the universe at the time, right? Like he was contesting terracentrism, and at the time the church was very terracentric, and he was going for, like, he was pushing heliocentrism, I think, yeah. And it turned out, oh shit, it actually is a heliocentric universe, like I said, like concept of universe at that time. So yeah, like it took several hundred years for the church to issue an apology and like officially pardon Galileo. So like many centuries after he died, right? And this, like I said, like many people have agreed with me that like, oh, honey, like the video is mostly okay. He's still having a little bit of foot and mouth syndrome with that one, but why? Why did you go with that thumbnail? I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, because it's not. Especially like juxtaposed against his, words saying, hey, I checked up on the science, and it turns out this is a lot more complicated. But, he puts that Galileo image like with his own head over Galileo's, right? And it sort of is making it look like this is a faux apology, like he's not really apologizing. He's just saying, well, sorry your feelings were hurt, my pal. But I was telling the truth all along. Ha 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 ha. Right? Okay, so understandably, at least given the full context with the thumbnail, Ethel decided that this was not an apology, which, like I said, in context, it made some sense. So, then what happens? Well, it becomes abundantly clear that Ethel is a very frustrating person on YouTube. And, you think Lily Orchard has a reputation for, anti-redemption, right? You think Lily Orchard has a problem with, thinking that some people just can't be helped and can't learn better no matter what. Ethel is like that times 10. I'll say times 10, because I'm sure Orchard's reputation varies amongst people, right? So, like, think of Lily Orchard on an ideological steroid rage, right? it's like the only way to better oneself in Ethel's mind is to have never done the thing in the first place, right? And that's not possible. That is also like not conducive to learning. I saw another mild rip here. Now why? Now it doesn't. Now the thing here doesn't say that the double patching is necessary, but I like to do it on certain things. Son of a bitch. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave that as is because of where it is. Like, this is a really hard thing to do. I might get some of my fusible tape on the inside of this and do it that way, and you know, like the single-sided fusible stuff, just because of the nature of that rip. Like, it's along a seam, right? So trust me, I'm gonna get to Jimmy Snow in a bit. So yeah, like, rationality rules. And then Ethel decided, because like I said, like, think of Lily Orchard, who has a massive reputation across YouTube for this, a massive reputation that spans beyond YouTube for this. Like, think Lily Orchard on ideological roid rage, right? Where, like, the only way to truly, you know, like, be a better person is to have never done the thing in the first place, right? Like, so, but like I said, I understand why Ethel, like, went and thought the first retraction video from Woodford was not good enough, especially given the context of the thumbnail that he posted along with it, right? Because, like, like I said, like, given the context and what he was saying, the thumbnail likening him to Galileo, it was just like, who told him that was a good idea? Like, did he pass that by anybody and say, hey, does this look like a good idea to juxtapose against an apology and, you know, an insistence that I have, you know, reread the, you know, like, peer-reviewed articles and all of this, and, you know, I take back my initial statement, right? Like, would this be good optics, right? Like, he clearly did not go and double check that with anybody. And like I said, like, there are still people who are just like, you know, much like myself, who are just like, oh, honey, why? Why did this seem like a good idea at the time? But, so why did he leave it up there? I'll get to that. Trust me. So, let's see. Oh, nope, red. So, because like I said, this looks good here, but I'm going to do, like, more than one spritz, like, alongside this, right? So yeah, the Woodford v. EOT thing, that went as far as it did for some clear reasons, because, you know, like I said, like, Woodford's first retraction/apology came off feeling not quite so much because of the thumbnail, so I understand. And then he posted a second one, you know, like, second follow-up. So now a third video in this. And I think he's posted at least 4, but I'm only going to reference, like, the 4 there, because... But I'm not going to get to the 4th for a bit. Right, so yeah, like I said, he posted at least 4. But, like, you know, by the 3rd one, it became clear to him that Ethel, EOT, like, you know, that like I said, like, think Lily Orchard on an ideological roid rage, because apparently the only way to do better in the future is to, like, have Jules Verne over, let him drop you off a time machine so you can go back to having never done the thing in the first place. But then that creates a time travel paradox wherein, like, you would have had to do the thing in order, you know, to get to the point where you would invite Jules Verne over to give you the time, you know, to loan you the time machine. But, like, so, like, if you go back and never do the thing, then you'd have no reason to have Jules Verne over to loan you the time machine. don't think about it. Or you'll end up like, no, you'll only end up like me if, like, you've got some ADHD issues, right? So, where was I going with this? Right. So the thing with the stuff. So yeah, by Woodford's third video, and thus Ethel's third response, it became clear that Ethel Thurston at Essence of Thought is not really a person who can be reasoned with when they're on a rage bender, right? That all pretense of being a fairly reasonable human being, just like but I don't think that makes Ethel necessarily a bad person, but it does kind of like make her channel name feel a bit misleading, right? So yeah, like, how does this get to Jimmy Snow? Well, I'll get to that. Let me explain some more. So somewhere in the middle of, like, somewhere, like, either between the second and third video from Rationality Rules, or sometime shortly after the third video, I think it was after the third video, Ethel decided that any of Woodford's personal friends who did not actively distance themselves from him, so, like, if they chose not to end their friendship with him over this, then this meant they were horrible transphobes who could not be reasoned with, and, were forever tainted by Woodford, which is a guilt by association fallacy, which, is not good. It's not good. Like I said, it's not the most reasonable response to conflict of any variety. But so let me continue. Well, let me get a tissue so I can sop up some of this on the copper. So, there we go. So far, so nice. Okay, so we're getting some bleed through on the other side with this, but so far, I like it. I am really impressed with how this is working. So, how am I going to do the sleeves? You might be asking yourself. Well, I'll show you in a second here. Is this... Okay, it's mostly there. So, then where was I going? Right, Woodford. So yeah, so like I said, Ethel decided that anybody who did not, like, denounce their friendship with Woodford, which would, be inconducive to helping him learn better, right? But like I said, like think Lily Orchard on an ideological roid rage. But, where was I going? Right, up my ass and around the corner. So yeah, Rachel Oates, being a personal friend of Woodford's, decided that, she was going to publicly defend him and say, yes, he put his foot in his mouth a couple of times, but he's learning better, and that's the important part. So, because Ms. Oates decided that the important part was that he was willing to learn, that, like, that outweighs, that, like, that is ultimately the more important thing than just magically becoming better person overnight about, this or any topic. But where was I going? Right. So yeah, like, because she decided that she's not going to disown her friend over this, because, you know, the important part is that he learn, right? Um, you know, like, that was more important than, you know, a kind of ideological purity that we all knew at that point was just not going to meet Ethel's standards. So then what happens? Well, what happened after that was Ethel kind of sicked her fandom, who in Woodford's, you know, Rationality Rules summary, he describes them as a cult, and I will say he's not wrong about that. I'll get to that in a bit, though. So yeah, like, Ethel sicked her minions on Rachel Oates, who was in an on-again, off-again abusive relationship at that time, which she has since, like, you know, come out and stated publicly that, and she's just, like, a fairly emotionally sensitive person to begin with, and I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in, you know, because we need people like that. Like, we need people to, you know, who are sensitive to the emotions of others, and to just, like, at least help us remember that, you know, that emotions are not something to be afraid of. Like, we need to have people who are not afraid to be publicly emotional, right? And Rachel, she's very much in that camp, and I kind of admire her for it. But yeah, so what happens, though, when you sick a bunch of cultish YouTube subscribers? More tissue? On an emotionally vulnerable person who, you know, granted, unbeknownst to many at that time, was in an emotionally vulnerable spot in their life. Well, they might do as Ms. Oates did and self-harm on camera. Like, I think it was a live stream even. I'm just, like, begging, pleading for these people to leave her the fuck alone, because, you know, and Rachel, she did a video explaining why she's not going to, you know, publicly denounce her friends, you know, just because they messed up something, right? That, okay. So if I need to do this again, this is already pretty damn low. Okay. But, so yeah, like, after that, this is where we get, Woodford's final video on the topic, which summarized the entire goddamn ordeal, right? And publicly described the essence of thought subscribers, or at least those who were willing to do damn near anything at Ethel's suggestion, rather cultish. I'm being a bit kinder than he was, but then again, I think that's just who I be, right? So, So then what happens was, as you see, I don't care so much if the stripes are perfect because, well, like I said, you know, like there's some patches here, the stripping out the old color wasn't so perfect, and I kind of like this, you know, very DIY, semi-grungy kind of look. I'm not a big fan of how, like, so many people are on this trend of calling anything vaguely alternative looking from the 1990s grunge, because that's a specific subset of the punk scene that was at its most popular during the early 1990s, especially in the Seattle area, but that's neither here nor there right now. Right now I'm going on about, like, why Jimmy Snow is a fucking turd and deserves to die cold, alone, and unloved. And yes, I will be that drastic in my assessment because I think his behavior warrants this. I think his behavior warrants that kind of drastic regard. So then what happens is after what? So yeah, then so yeah, like, I'm not sure about the timeline of everybody posting their retraction videos or reaction videos to the whole thing, but yeah, I guess, like, Snow got involved at some point as well, you know, right, refusing to denounce Woodford, and that's fair. That's fair enough because, like, you know, but people were being especially defensive and protective of Rachel because, you know, she's kind of made it clear on, you know, her channel and other videos before that, you know, she can be a very emotionally sensitive person. She's had her own mental health struggles and all of that. And at some point, like I said, like, in addition to Woodford's summary of the debacle, at some point Jimmy Snow released literally a 4-part series on this. I don't think it deserved 4 parts because at some point he's kind of saying the same thing in different ways throughout this. But this kind of becomes important to why so many of his former fans are now very skeptical of his intention. Because at some point his channel did seem kind of content farmy. But I'll get to that. So then what happened was, like I said, yeah, Snow posted a 4-part series summarizing what the hell went on, and I find his intention with this morally dubious at best, because when we catch up to current day, so yeah, like, why do I agree that EOT's, you know, with Woodford, that EOT's fandom seems kind of culty, is like, not only will they do basically anything Ethel suggests they do, because, you know, she is kind of smart in the sense that, you know, she knows not to say things too too explicitly, lest catching some kind of ban hammer on various sites, right? But yeah, like she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing to manipulate the situation. She's not stupid. She is. I may only consider her kind of smart in some ways, like well, how she expects people to denounce their friends over the slightest misstep, and how like the only way to avoid being criticized for a misstep in the past is to have never done it in the first place, and there is no such thing as redemption in her eyes, even though she says otherwise. Like, you know, why did Stephen Woodford leave the thumbnail likening himself to Galileo on that video, which it still exists in that way, and it's one that is, you know, publicly available. And I figured he did that because he found himself in a no-win situation, because, you know, he had observed for, you know, at least enough backlog on how Ms. Thurston and her followers, and I mean that in the most culty way possible, work. And that is, like, you know, if he removed the thumbnail, they'd accuse him of trying to hide this. If he left it on, they would say, oh, this is how he really feels about the situation. So it's like, no matter what he did, they were going to find fault with it. Or at least that seems to be how he believed. Or at least that's the MO I'm ascribing to him over this, because it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, looking at Ethel's backlog, as well as that of several of her most ardent followers, that seems to be how she operates. That, you know, because there's no such thing as redemption in her world, in spite of claims to the contrary, you know, whereas at least Lily Orchard has the decency to be upfront about believing that. So I'll give Lily Orchard some respect in that regard, right? That she has the sense to recognize this very toxic thought pattern of hers, even if she doesn't think it's a problem, right? Whereas Ethel says one thing, does another, right? But like I said, very frustrating person. And if you go and like watch some of the videos on the Essence of Thought channel where she's detailing some of the absolute horrifying shit she's been through, I really feel for her. Like, you know, as just a human being. It doesn't matter, like, you know, trans, bi, whatever she identifies as. Like, she is a human being. Human beings should not have to go through the kind of terrible things she's been through in her life, right? And why did I not undo this? Because I probably thought it was decorative for a moment there, huh? Maybe. Makes sense anyway. So I really, like, I feel for her, and I know why she's so angry, and why she is so reluctant to accept an apology from anyone for any reason. I understand that, but that doesn't mean I think it's okay. So, where was I going with this? Right, okay. So yeah, like, Jimmy Snow, his video on this was, like I said, it was a 4-part series. It was mostly unnecessary, but at the time, I kind of accepted it as, like, an acceptable response, right? So, now, I became aware of Rachel Oates because Worst X is a huge fan of Jacqueline Glenn, and while Worst X and I were watching some Jacqueline Glenn videos projected from, I can't remember if it was his laptop or my phone, onto my Roku on the TV. So, like, we were binging on some Jacqueline Glenn, and we didn't have anything queued up immediately after one of her videos, so, like, one of the recommended ones came up, and it was a Rachel Oates video. You know, they do some similar enough video topics, right? So, I got really into Rachel Oates. Worst X, not quite so much. I mean, he seems to appreciate Rachel Oates and, you know, what she does, but, you know, she's more about you know, books. And so, like, while there are some similarities between, like, her content and Jacqueline Glenn's, as in, like, they both endorse a secular worldview, they're at least somehow related to YouTube's broad atheist and broadly feminist communities. Yeah, like, they're both very different people. So, so where was I going with this? And so yeah, like, I got into Rachel Oates videos, or no, I knew about Jimmy Snow while he was still Dear Mr. Atheist, even before this whole hubbub, because I knew that he and Rachel Oates were friends. I can't remember exactly which video of his she might have recommended, or maybe I just saw something of his come up in the recommended list below one of her videos. Fuck if I know. So, oh my gosh, I love this! I love this! Oh, I forgot to do I forgot to do the rest of the sleeves. You know what? I'm gonna there's a little bit of extra going on down here, so I'm gonna do another row of pink after I do the row of violet. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful! Oh, I hope she loves it. I hope my little niece loves it. This is so adorable. This is just fucking adorable. Hashtag fucking adorable. As I'm talking about Rachel Oates, and there's just something so cute about her, right? Like, you know, obviously gay, not adorable in that way, but like she's just such a cute little noodle, right? You know, like much like Murnau, who I also refer to as a cute little noodle. I think during this whole, you know, thing, about a year and a half ago, like shortly after Snow's videos, or maybe it was like the final thoughts from Woodford or something, I was talking to Argyle Dinosaur, Lucifer, right there. Oh shit. Lucifer says she better love it. Okay, so yeah, the jacket. I'll get caught up with the chat in a bit, just because I'm spraying all over this jacket, and I don't want to like get distracted by chatting stuff and then like end up goofing something up, right? So yeah, and I was never especially, you know, dedicated to watching Snow's Dear Mr. Atheist video. It did, though, give me some insight into why Worst X is the way he is. Cause he's also an ex-Mormon, and that's gonna get to why I can't fucking stand him anymore. Like, I do not use this accusation loosely, but I think his whole MO is in this, you know, for like why everybody's so pissed at him right now is evidence of just being fucking evil. And like I said, I do not use that accusation lightly. Oh, you know what? I might make some lace to put around the cuffs if she wants. I mean, I'm probably not going to sew it on for her before I get there, but I think that would look so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is adorable. This is adorable. I love this. This is so cute. But yeah, the whole Jimmy Snow thing. So yeah, like fast forward to about October of last year. Rachel Oates made an update on Twitter that well, first it started allegedly with an Instagram post that she made where she included some pics that had notations because she was reviewing some books. One of which included the latest collection of poetry in dick quotes by a not good Hank, right? I don't even want to give that coos the satisfaction of like her name coming up on a, I don't know, like how YouTube decides to find stuff where people are mentioned and all that. But yeah, like I'm not even gonna give her the satisfaction, whatever. So yeah, then what happens was so yeah, like not good Hank sent an arc, which um if you're not up on what author and publishing lingo is, an arc is an advanced review copy. An advanced review copy is usually a book, though I've seen the term applied to music as well, that an author or publisher sends to people who do reviews, and like magazines that feature reviews, and all of that, so that, you know, a review is all but guaranteed. So far, this makes sense. Now, having worked in the music industry, granted underground, but still, like, I was briefly on the staff for an ill-fated, because of the year we chose to start it, small press goth magazine. I was like officially given the title of music editor, though I did a whole lot more for that magazine than that. And the original EOC, she still holds me in very high regard. She's one of my oldest friends at this point. But yeah, so like we would get ARC copies of various albums, and I knew from working in music, not only in music publishing, music journalism, but also as a DJ, that there is an absurd number of people, and by people I mean musicians, and also like people who work at labels. Oh gosh, I don't know how anybody takes Mick Mercer. He's a long established goth music journalist, fairly underground famous, if you could call it that, still fairly respected in the goth subculture, but not quite as much as he once was, and I don't think he's completely noticed that. You know, he's not exactly relevant lately, but so okay, so I'm gonna hey, I do have a hanger here, so I'm gonna, because I have a fabric shower curtain, and I don't want to like get, I'm sure not a whole lot will come off from my fingers on this, but I moved it aside with the hanger just in case, right? So I'm gonna hang this up to dry so that it dries a bit more, you know, so that like stupid child-sized clothing. Like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty! It is so cute! Look at this! I might need to get some touch-up on here. Oh my gosh. I hope she loves this. Like, it's my niece, and according to my sister and sister mama and family friend, like, little niece loves damn near everything I make. Like I sent sister and sister mama just a couple of things. Like I made a bunch of hats, and I made one for little niece, right? But I also like included this like shopping bag that I kind of messed up on as far as the pattern goes, and so my sister ended up like giving that to little niece. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you understand that this was like kind of a fuck up as far as like all that's concerned, right? Like please don't. And the sister's like, oh, she wants to use it as her book bag when she starts kindergarten next year. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna discover real soon that can barely hold like bread, right? That like I figured my sister would use it for storing stuff like, I don't know, like soft items that aren't going to be moving around too much, because she also did textile crafts and all that. So yeah, like that's why I sent it over, because I was just like, it was just starting to frustrate me just looking at it. But I know that my sister, was a bit more willing to work with problematic creations. So yeah, then where was I going? Right. Okay, that's mostly cooled. So yeah, the whole Jimmy Snow thing. So yeah, like I want to say sometime early 2020 or maybe late 2019. Ms. Oates also did a review of Not Good Hank's first book of poetry, which was not good. This was not a glowing review. In fact, Oates even did a style parody of said book by playing this. By playing this modified version of Mad Libs with her dog, right? She did a video like writing it with with Kyra, her dog, and I love Staffordshire Bull Terriers are very closely related to the American Pit Bull Terrier, and I have a story time that I'm not going to do right now because it deserves its own video, right? It also deserves to be done properly. So, but yeah, like, my mom took in a pit bull for a friend, so, like just before I was born, and we gave her back to him when I was about 5. Like I said, it deserves its own story time. So yeah, just like I think I just kind of have a soft spot because like, Staffies and Pibbles, they're dopey dogs. They are your classic dopey dog who, is smart in many ways, but just very trusting of people in, like to a fault, arguably. So yeah, where was I going? Right. Sorry about that. I forget how loud this fan can be but it's so hot in here. Okay, I'll put it about there. Maybe that'll, fuck it. Okay, I'm gonna wait until I'm done with the video. Hi! Hello, now. Oh, sorry, that's my pick. I don't know why it's over there. It should be this away. No, I've got hair junk over there. I'm trying to get some order into my bathroom, but where was I going? So yeah, like either late 2019 or early 2020, Rachel Oates, she did a video review of Not Good Hank's first volume of poetry, which was not good, and it was like not good enough, but like it's clear that, well, first off, it's clear that not only is Rachel incredibly thorough in her book reviews, and like this is not the only time she's been this thorough in book reviews, especially when she has to give a less than glowing review because you come to somebody who is seasoned in literary criticism because you understand that their opinion is going to be a bit more informed, especially when something is not great. But yeah, so she's incredibly thorough. She's very constructive in the negative critiques she gives, and you kind of get the impression at some point that like that she just couldn't take it seriously as a book of literature. So it kind of felt more like a good-natured ribbing just because she couldn't really take this seriously. Like she couldn't accept this as serious poetry. So, thus the style parody with that, written with her dog Kyra, playing an altered, version of Mad Libs that you can play with your dog because, sure, like how else are you going to get your dog to help you write a book of not good poetry? and especially like and this just goes to show like how sweet-natured Rachel is because like she could have cashed in on that, right? Not Good Hank is one of the more controversial figures on YouTube, let's say, but at the same time, like I said, she decided that she was not going to cash in. She was going to donate all profits from the Dogolescence poetry book to the animal rescue from where she adopted Kyra. So, you know, like this was a charity grab, right? This was not like, you know, cashing in on, you know, one of YouTube's more controversial players, right? You know, so like I said, it's clear that that there was a hint of all in good fun with the first review. You know, or at least this is what, you know, she was clearly hoping. So then, you know, like I said, Not Good Hank offers to send Ms. Oates the second volume earlier that summer, I believe, as an ARC, and Oates accepts because it's easy, you know, it's easy work at that point. Like, you know, you don't even have to worry about like obtaining a copy, right? You don't have, you know, if it's being offered, sure. I mean, what literary critic would not accept that offer, right? So, so she scripts the review, films the review, and launches the review sometime October 2020. Please don't ask me for dates. I'm terrible with them. I have, you know, I have zero sense of time. Time does not matter to me. I can't tell the difference between 5 minutes and 50 minutes. So, that's all he said about that, I suppose. Then what happens was where am I going with this? Right. So so yeah. But then enter Jimmy Snow. Now, allegedly, Jimmy Snow took umbrage with this Instagram post of Rachel's, wherein she posted alongside photos, you know, with notations in the margins of several books that she was reviewing and that she had been reading that week and was going to post reviews of in the coming weeks. And part of the reason that she made the snarky comment of, is it possible for poetry to be so bad it taints your home somehow? And there was more than just Not Good Hank's second volume of poetry in this post, but I forget if it was like, you know, if there was text imposed on any of the photos or not. But like I said, like there were several books mentioned in this Instagram post that Snow allegedly took great umbrage with before Rachel posted the review of Not Good Hank's second book. So so then what happens was so then he decides that so, you know, Snow, we're talking about here, decides that he is going to take it upon himself. Okay, this is bugging me, and it's a shampoo night, so I'm going to, oh, that's right. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, oh, never mind, there's where it was. I thought it was in the other thing, which is out on the balcony, so. This is bugging me, it's bugging me. This is one of the reasons that I wear a bandana as a headband a lot, because I am not the neatest shaver, and I end up, like when I do my sides, I end up somehow like clipping some hair from the scalp in the process, and the cowlick was bugging the shit out of me. So right, okay, so Snow decides he's going to send some DMs to Rachel, and he was very vague about this, right? Like, in terms of what he, was referring to, right? Like, he was not clear in his, you know, contrary to what he claims now, he was not at all clear that, you know, he was referring to this Instagram post when he is begging Rachel, oh, you have to remember, like, Not Good Hank is a person. There's a human being on the other side of that review. And, like, when I first saw that, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, she knows this. Like, she gets arcs from authors a lot. She knows that, you know, like, especially when she's reviewing another YouTuber's books that well, I'm under the impression that at least maybe a third of the time, she'll get sent an arc either by the publisher or a publicist or even the YouTuber themselves. But, like the other 2 out of 3 times, it's just like, she'll pick it up if she picks it up, or, if somebody else sends it to her, right? But like, she is well aware that, like, there is a person on the other side of this book review, right? Like, she's the last person you would need to remind of this. Like, as evidenced by, the way that Ethel Thurston, like, about a year prior, just, like, went on a warpath. Like, yes, Ethel went on a warpath because they were a person who was feeling immense hurt, whether that was whether she was necessarily justified in feeling as much hurt to the extent that she felt it or not, that is not for me to say. Whether she was in the right to express it in the way that she did, I will definitely say that, like, no, this is, like, the wrong way to be persuasive at the very least, right? But yeah, like, Rachel had the reaction to it that she did because, she doesn't want to hurt people, and feeling that she is being attacked so viciously because somebody else felt hurt by something that she said or did or didn't do, even though she feels she's on the right. Like, I've bet, like, being an ex-Catholic, I understand that kind of complicated feeling. I might be projecting a little bit, being an ex-Catholic myself. I know she's from the Yorkshire area. She's got, it's not quite as heavy as Eleanor Neale's Yorkie accent, but she's got a bit of a Yorkie accent. And I know there's a lot of Catholics in the Yorkshire area. So I don't know, like, if, I seem to remember that her parents are a bit on the agnostic atheist side from what I remember her saying about them, but that doesn't mean anything about the like the broader culture she grew up in. So yeah, like, I know there's a lot of Catholics in the Yorkshire area of England, so and I knew this even before I saw Monty Python's Meaning of Life. Oh God, I love that movie. But where was I going? Right. Okay. So yeah, like I said, like, Rachel Oates is one of the last people on YouTube who would need to be reminded that there's a person on the other side of that thing. So yeah, like, first she posts, like, I don't even remember if she posted a screen cap at first, but she said something. Snow outed himself as being the friend who contacted her, that she was not sure if this person was being manipulative, and she was hoping that if so, that they weren't intending to be manipulative. Like, she's giving him the benefit of the doubt the whole time. And, Snow seems really reluctant to admit that in his recent video, RE This Topic. Because, like I said, like, even when he's reading it off, like, he is reading off this massive chat log. This seems to be, like, most of the, like, this video lasts nearly an hour of his. It's about 54 minutes and some seconds long. It is titled, Not Good Hank, Rachel Oates, and Himself, as in, like, and me, but, him, not me. So yeah, like, go find it if you haven't seen it yet. I'm pretty sure Lucifer has. I'll get caught up on the chats in a bit, like, after I round up my summary here. So yeah, like, he's reading off this massive chat log from, like, back in, like, October-ish, anyway, and it's clear from the chat log he's reading, which he seems to be of the opinion that this was going to make Rachel look bad, but it seems clear from her side that she's giving him the benefit of the doubt the whole time, up until, like, the end, like, like, the last 10 exchanges. That's when it became clear that she's just, that she's had enough, that this is that like maybe he doesn't intend to be manipulative, but he's being manipulative. And so then fast forward to, I want to say March. It was either March or April that Not Good Hank, as she does, clearly orchestrated intense drama, starting with her Instagram stories, I believe, accusing Rachel Oates of being a narcissistic bully, of being a stalker, and being obsessed with Not Good Hank. And Snow came out on Not Good Hank's side. Like even after like their friendship had fizzled, he's still, you know, his friendship with Oates had fizzled at that point. He had decided that like no, he's gonna stand up for Not Good Hank because I don't know, because apparently smash patriarchy, which he claims to be all about, but apparently in his mind that includes like siding with YouTube's most notorious pick-me gal, as the feminists say, who, I mean, at least she's upfront about how much she hates other women at least as much as Jimmy does. And the reason I say at least as much as Jimmy does is because in Snow's Not Good Hank, Rachel Oates, and himself video, he comes full mask off in this, that he is clearly attempting to gaslight, he's clearly attempting to gaslight Rachel Oates by proxy of his own audience, because he knows that there's still significant overlap between his audience and Rachel's, right? Or at least there was at that time still. So he's attempting to gaslight, if not Rachel directly, then by proxy through his audience, and specifically that which overlaps with her own. Because, you know, he's insisting that she's saying stuff that she clearly is not. He's saying that, you know, things went away that they clearly did not. Right? Like, and he even says at some point that, oh, well, I don't see how watching your review of Not Good Hank's book will be relevant. And then he asides himself, well, you know, unless it was especially constructive, you know, all while he's saying that he's never watched Rachel's reviews of any books, especially of poetry books, because he says at least 24 times throughout the video, well, I don't like poetry. I'm like, good for you, Captain Slappy. Like, at this point, nobody cares. At this point, nobody cares. All they care about is the fact that you admitted, or at least you claimed anyway, that you never saw the review, but yet you're saying it's irrelevant, unless, of course, it meets the standard of constructive critique, which, if you had seen the review, you would know whether it meets a standard of constructive critique or not, right? Like he's... Like this is double speak at some point, and I got such a head full of this from Worst X, you know, an ex-Mormon, much like Jimmy Snow. Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, I know that that Worst X being diagnosed as having a narcissistic personality disorder with tendencies toward antisocial personalities. He is intentionally manipulating people when he pulls the shit that he does. He is intentionally manipulating people when he pulls that shit, when he uses his double speak to, you know, try and make it sound like you said the exact opposite of what you know you just said a minute ago. He is intentionally trying to manipulate you. Snow, I'm not sure, but the way he doubles down on this, the way that he has built his brand on critical thought and sound logic and rationality and all that, but instead is, like I said, is doubling down on the least critical action. Like, the way he's doubled down on this situation, just it's one of those like bad parenting moves of like, you know, do as I say, not as I do, right? Like where? Oh, why are you only still? Why are you still warm? Like seriously. I mean, it's like, you know, whole hand on the thing warm right now, but I'm just like, I mean, gosh, like watching his video on this, like legit triggered some of the the mental health trauma that Worst X foisted upon me, right? Right, like it was legitimately like, you know, a trigger of the long-term partner abuse I was going through with him, which, I mean, like, it feels so weird saying that, like, just under a year is long-term, but considering that's about average for, yeah, that's about average for most of my, like, legit relationships, like, you know, as in, like, more than overnight or a weekend, you know, kind of fling, right? You know, if it's longer than I would consider a fling, it's a long-term relationship, and a year seems to average, you know, seems to be about average for me. So it's like, yeah, that was long-term. That was long-term emotional abuse he put me through, and Snow's video just like tripped up so many of the wires that set up the flags for that. Oh, here's the price on this. But if I remember correctly, I got this on one of their when it was there long enough to be 30% off. So we're looking at about $6 for this thing. $5.50. Okay. The other one I know is definitely less, but can't believe I missed that the first time around. Okay, I'm gonna look through on some of the chat. See. Oh, good morning, Kathleen. And Curious Cat 1920, Karen. Obviously, we know when how I've been doing. He just didn't know when to stop, huh? Oh, okay. I'm assuming that's referring to Woodford's Woodford's first response video, because oh yeah, like I saw that, I was just like, why? Would have called those followers more of the sycophantic. Okay, I'm assuming you're referring to Ethel's fandom. Lucifer says, "Sup party people, oh man, I missed the creation of a rainbow bummer. When did you get on?" I was like not even a full hour into it when you came in, so. Okay. Oh, yay! Lucifer, aka Argyle Dinosaur, spent some time with their mom Friday night, Saturday morning, which was super nice, and got a lot of work done today. Sweet. Oh yeah. I'm sure my niece is gonna love this jacket. It's so cute. I love it. Like look at this. This is just so sweet. Still waiting for it to dry, of course, but like, oh my gosh, I really do hope she loves it. I'm sure she will. Like, she allegedly loved this totally messed up crochet shopping bag that I made and sent to my sister, hoping she'd, you know, find something where it didn't need to be used as a bag, but more as like some kind of storage receptacle. Oh, thanks, Kathleen, for saying that the jacket is turning out super awesome. Ooh. Oh, it's good you found your license and bank cards and all that. Lucifer and Kathleen talking about notepads, and yeah, like a lot of people with ADHD, such as myself, like our lives are in this system of notebooks, and we're bound to lose at least one of them at any given time, and then like find it weeks later. Lucifer asks, is meaning of life the one where people are flogging themselves and chanting something vaguely translates to Jesus Christ? Oh, no. That was in that was in the Holy Grail. Oh yeah, that is that. Yeah, because I was in the last year that they taught Latin at my old high school. But yeah, that was in Holy Grail. Meaning of Life is the one that is more like a 90-minute episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus, which I really like it. Like, it seems to be people's least favorite of the Monty Python movies, but it's probably my favorite because it's just so surreal. And yeah, like, unlike many Monty Python episodes, because about half of them are just random, right? But some episodes of Flying Circus are linked by a theme, and the sequences in Meaning of Life are linked by a theme, being the various stages of life, and how sometimes it's just so weird, right? So yeah, it's a bit more surreal. It's a bit more thematic rather than, a linear story. So I understand why a lot of people don't consider it their favorite of the Monty Python films, or outright consider it their least favorite of the Monty Python films. But like I said, I really love it. Apparently because of the reason that a lot of people hate it. So Lucifer says, just Google Monty Python Holy Grail chant, and please to report to the class that it is indeed Holy Grail that has the Jesus Christ make us stop blockers. Nice. Oh, hello, Darkly Tailored. I was about to wrap up in a bit, but I am going to show off the jacket again. Oh my gosh, I love this jacket. Lucifer asks, oh yeah, I got to take Latin in high school. It was the last year they offered Latin too, and I was kind of pissed off that I couldn't continue with that. I don't have the greatest retention of classical Latin, but which actually kind of surprises me because I went to Catholic school as well, but at the same time we didn't go like they didn't have a Latin mass, so it evens out, I suppose. Lucifer graduated high school in 2012, and literally all the school had to offer was Spanish. Now very much averse to the Spanish. Graduated high school in 2012. You're so little. Okay. It's like barely touch warm, so I'm going to hope for the best, putting it down in the carton as it is with all this, and put that off to the side. But I'm also not going to like put it on the shelf until for maybe another hour or so. Just let it finish cooling off before I put it away. Okay, there's my drop cloth, and I get to move this aside while I Like, seriously, I've wanted one of these forever. I also want a Murphy bed. I also want a Murphy bed. They do make them standalone rather than, you know, something that is built into the walls or something, but I still want a Murphy bed. I like stuff that folds up when it's not in use. I don't know why. It's just, I've always found it very fascinating. Argyle took Spanish for 3 freaking years, and the fact that they couldn't even hold a damn conversation in Spanish after 3 years is enough to turn them off completely. Feel bad. Yeah, I can. You know, I've been speaking Welsh off and on since I was like 13, 12, 13-ish. So yeah, I can kind of hold my end of a conversation, as long as it's like fairly simple, but still, it's like I am so looking forward to Bicycle Tour of Wales, and I am hoping to be able to do some videos of that are completely in Welsh. I would love that. I would love that. So, oh my gosh, one last peek at the rainbow jacket that I just spray dyed for little niece. Oh my gosh, this is adorable. This is so cute. I hope it's cute anyway. Like, I'm not so much up on what the kids are doing these days. And okay, so yeah, like that's not going to be especially visible. That's the underarm part. But look at this. This is so adorable, right? I hope it's adorable. I might want to go in and like touch up like the inside parts here so that like it shows when, you know, it's only buttoned up to here, that, you know. But yeah, oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. This is so fucking cute. I can't not love it. So yeah, I'm gonna take some pictures after the stream, after I wrap up the stream, and like show family, friend, and, you know, of course, like work, like do not ruin the surprise for niece, right? Because oh my gosh, and it's like it's almost like, you know, in line. Oh my gosh, I got this so good. I did these sleeves so well, like according to my plan for them. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. Okay, I saw some last chatting here. Kathleen asks what size bed I want. I have a twin bed right now, and that's about all. That's about all my my bedroom-ish area of my apartment can fit, is a twin bed. Like, this is an efficiency apartment. It's about 500 square feet, and I say efficiency rather than a studio because a studio is like one big open space, right? An efficiency is it's more like it's designed more to feel like a small one bedroom than a studio, right? So it's got like a designated kitchen, or depending on the efficiency, a designated kitchenette. Oh gosh, I hate I hate having a kitchenette rather than a full kitchen, but thankfully that's not my deal. But so we've got this wall that doesn't have doors, and that separates out the bedroom-ish area from the main area of the apartment, so that, like I said, it feels like a tiny one-bedroom rather than a studio. So, but yeah, like the little bedroom-ish area, that can only really fit a twin bed. I'm sure I could perhaps fit a full size in there, but at that point it'll be getting in the way of the air conditioner, so twin bed it is. But I want a Murphy twin bed. I want a twin size Murphy bed. Why? So I can like fold it up into a cupboard when I'm not asleep. I want it. I just do. Don't ask me why. Lucifer says, also love stuff that folds up when not in use. I love how it's a space, right? Stuff like that is also good for tiny homes, and I love tiny homes. Oh yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that, at the very least, Van Volverveth, my strange people on the YouTube land, think it's great. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Like I said, I kind of like the whole, like not quite tie-dyed effect, but it's like it all kind of like blends into each other nicely. It's cute. This came out just as I hoped it would. I might want to touch up with the orange around here. Ooh, the orange is the one that is like, I don't know how well this is gonna come up, but you see where it's kind of, will this be helpful? No, of course not. So yeah, like it's the orange is already like almost depleted. I don't know how that, because see, it's coming up like a bit more faint than the yellow even. I don't get that. That's so weird. It might be whatever red they had to mix it with to get the orange to look orange rather than red, right? So but yeah, I hope she loves it. I hope she loves it. I'm sure she'll love it. It's cute. It's adorable. And looking at it again, I think it might be a bit big on her for now, but at the same time, my big leather jacket, that's big on me, but I love it anyway. And it's okay to get kids clothes that especially a jacket. Like a jacket, you're gonna put it over your regular clothes, right? You're gonna put it over your regular clothes, so it's okay if it's a little big for a couple of years, right? Oh, yay! Oh yeah, happy belated Pride to everybody. Oh my gosh, I showed Lucifer over Twitter DMs that there's a bonded pair of rainbow lorikeets at the Columbus, Ohio Zoo and Aquarium. Two males of pair bonded. So it's like they're like little rainbow colored parrots, right? That's so adorable. They're like little gay rainbow colored parrots, and it's so cute, and I love them. And I was telling Lucifer about this, that oh yeah, and like I said, it's okay when a jacket is a bit big because you're gonna put it on over your regular clothes, right? So like it could be autumn and she'll be like a t-shirt with like a cardigan over the t-shirt, and then she could put the jacket on over both of those, and and she'll still be fine. And it might be a little bit slouchy for a bit, but she's 6, or she's gonna be 6 in about 2.5 weeks, a little under 2.5 weeks. Darkly tailored, the conversation they had. Oh, that's good. Lucifer says when they were younger, he preferred big jackets and sweaters anyway. I mean, still prefer jackets and sweaters to be bigger. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Speaking of stuff, like I can get my ass back into my size 8 jeans again. Like I buy ladies jeans. I'm 4'11". I hate hemming denim. And yeah, I know I can just get like fusion tape as I just talking about the iron and everything, but I hate that as well when it comes to denim. Denim can be such a pain in the ass to work with when you're altering it to fit you, right? So yeah, and I've got no shame. I'll buy ladies jeans. Like I'm 4'11". It's what fits me. But yeah, I can fit back into my size 8. Often, usually I wear a lady's 10 or 12, depending on the cut and the style and the brand, of course. But it looks like I'm inching my way back down to 8'10", so that's always fun. My bathroom scale needs new batteries though, because I've noticed that it is very, like, sometimes wildly inconsistent with the weight it gives me that I am. So let me just. Okay. Come on. Reset. Reset. So yeah, that one was, that time it says 14 stone. This time it's like 13 stone 6. I'm like, yeah, this thing can get wildly inconsistent. It obviously needs new batteries. I'm pretty sure I have batteries that should fit into it. Is this what I'm looking at? No, of course not. That would make some kind of sense, and why would I have anything that makes sense in here? Inches and really pretty standard. Lucifer says, braver man than I buying women's jeans. Just can't. The freaking sizing on women's jeans bring out my body issues like none other. Holy Lord. At least in men's, everything is measured in inches and largely pretty standard across all brands. Yeah, I understand that. I just, like I said, as far as jeans go, I hate working with denim in alterations. Like, if I were to get a, if I were to get myself a suit, like even just like a straight up linen suit, granted, like we're talking like off the rack, so I don't know why I'd be finding a linen suit off the rack, unless it was like really bad linen, in which case like it's even a bit more of a pain in the ass to work with. But you know, like I will gladly take on like whatever headache that comes from altering, you know, linen, even cheap, shoddy, pain in the ass linen, than I would denim. It's just, it's because I do a lot of my sewing by hand, and especially being such a short person, like when I get out my sewing machine, like there's going to be like much smaller spans of things I have to, you know, like there's going to be like much smaller, you know, much shorter spans of things to work with altering things. Like even when I get out my my sewing machine for it, it's just, like I said, I do a lot of sewing by hand as well, especially when it's altering stuff that I've already bought off the rack. It's just denim. I end up arguing with denim a lot more than I do other fabrics. So, and jeans, the way that jeans are cut, because it's, I know I keep threatening people with this series on denim and, you know, its history and how to wear denim and all of that. It's just, there is a, and especially jeans. Now, I have a fairly solid argument that, that jeans, while etymologically speaking, it comes from I believe the French word for denim. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to go back to my notes and recheck my sources before I'm sure of that. But yeah, like etymologically speaking, jeans is has a root in a regional term, I believe French, maybe French Norman, local word for denim, right? But at the same time, jeans, as in like blue jeans or black jeans or stretch jeans or skinny jeans, that is a particular style of trousers, right? So that is a very particular style of trousers that is typically, but not exclusively, made from denim. And I fucking love jeans. I do. I have been like living in jeans since like kindergarten. It's like I come home, take off school uniform, get into my jeans, you know, like after having a good like hour or so to like run around in my underwear, like free and all that, like my mother would let me to. It's just like, no, put your goddamn clothes on before you go outside. Like, you cannot go outside in just your underwear, kiddo. I know you want to, but I did. I would look for any excuse to, like, go outside in as little clothing as possible when I was a kid, too. I've been weird a long ass time, but where was I going with this? Right. Yeah. So it's like, I would and I would immediately put on jeans, even if it was not jeans weather. Like, you know, like my mother would just be like, why? Right. So yeah, like to the tune of Mario's Underground theme. Denim. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Right. Yeah. Um, but yeah. So yeah, and I know I've put off that series. That I've been threatening people with that series um the subcultural history of jeans um and as well as shit, brain fart. Um, you know, just like the various styles of jeans and like simple alterations that are not a huge pain in the ass for me. Simple like mending tips and all of that. I know I've been threatening people with that for a long time. It's just every time every time I go through my notes, I think of something else that I want to add, that I want to include, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, this I should have this more thoroughly done before I start to work on it, and I should think more carefully about like how I'm going to break up various videos on it. So see the fireworks of the lake so loud. Yeah. So yeah, I should get around to yeah, like I just freaking love jeans. Like these are my the last time I did a count of the various pairs of jeans I have at least 4 pairs of shorts, at least 30 pairs of of full leg jeans, not counting the 1 pair of bib overalls I've got. I've got 3 denim jackets, 1 denim vest. Yeah, I've got in the area of. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I've gotten the area of like 30 pairs of jeans. Just and they're all different enough, to me at least, that it warrants having, you know, many pairs of jeans. Granted, I do have a couple pair that I you know, one of them I'm just gonna like donate to one of those community clothing shelf things. They've always been way long on me. They're corduroy, but they're also huge on me now. I got them shortly after moving back to the area. They were a lady's 16 or 18, which was a little bit on the loose side, but you know, like comfortably roomy, right? Now they're just huge on me, and it's like I would need like not a belt, but like, you know, garters, suspenders to keep them up. Right? I would need the you know, I need the braces to keep them up, because the one time I did try to put my my studded belt around them, it just the fabric bunched up so much that I couldn't close my belt, right? Uh, like that's how big this pair is on me. So I need to fish those out of my closet and put them in a community clothing shelf thing. I am picking at blackheads on me right now. So yeah, I should get going. I should probably feed the cats. Let me check the time. Oh yeah, it's just past midnight. I should feed the cats. I should feed myself probably, and I should marvel at the jacket one last time. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. I love this. Look at this. Look at this. This is cute. I like this. I hope my niece loves it. I'm sure she will. She should, right? I mean, it's her favorite color, which is rainbows, because almost 6-year-old logic, right? Can't pick just one. Gotta go with all of them, right? And at our birthday party, we're going to she's gonna like tell me like where to iron on various patches, and I'm gonna bring fabric paints and all of that, and it's gonna be so cool. And she's gonna get to make it all her own, and it's gonna be awesome, and she's gonna love it, and she's gonna love me for it. And hello, Miss Phoebe. Hello, little lady cat. Oh, who's my chubby little muffin? Oh, okay. Darkly tailored tea party with Ruadhán, everyone. Would be so cool. Aw, thank you. This for Argyle Dinosaur says he's literally got 2 pairs of jeans, and one of them isn't even real jeans. They're jeggings that he got for free from work, and refuses to wear anything but jeans outside the house, but don't have any. Nice. Darkly Tailored loves chamomile and hibiscus tea. Oh, I love hibiscus tea. I usually make a pot. I usually make a pot on the balcony, you know, like sun tea style, every summer. Argyle says they've got random assholes in the neighborhood setting off fireworks tonight, and it's rude as hell considering how late it is and have some people have to work tomorrow. Oh, absolutely. And Kathleen wishes everybody good night and best wishes and hugs, and thank you so much. Hugs to you all as well. Lucifer says she's totally gonna love it. Can't take a favorite color. Nice. So okay, yeah, wrapping it up. As always, feel free, link tr.ee/Ruadhán1334, Ruadhan 1334. And you'll find all of my social media stuff, including Patreon, birthday wish list, because my niece and I, we share a birthday, and it is on July 22. So, yeah, if you wish to encourage my continued descent into madness and other various nonsense with shiny things, there is a place to do it on there. If you join Patreon, you are at a $5 plus tier. You're basically subscribed to my music. $3 plus tier, you get a sticker after the first 90 days that says, I monetarily support DJ Spooky Pants 3-hour radio hour on WFKU, right? $1 plus tier, you're one of the many Ypsilanti Street tampons. I have no idea what the hell. Like, I mean, my thumbnail from a few streams ago, it was maxi pads, but it was like right over the city limit, right? Like on the other side of the street, it was Ann Arbor city limit, right? But on that side of the street, it was the Ypsilanti city limit. It's like right over the city limit. There's like just random unused maxi pads on the street, on the sidewalk. I'm like, how? Why? What is this phenomenon of street tampons and apparently other feminine hygiene products as well? But I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me, but it's a thing. It is apparently a thing. And if you look up the hashtag street tampons on Instagram, and you will discover like Ypsilanti and a small town in Wales, which I must visit. and like propose like, hey, these two need to be sister cities because we've both got the street tampon phenomenon and I don't understand it. And they're gonna be like, are you goddamn nuts, sir? And I'll be like, yes, but not because of this. I have photographic evidence. Right? Like come on, like there's evidence that this is a phenomenon unique, or at least unique enough to catalog to the people in these two specific cities. Like, this needs to be a thing. It needs to be sister city thing, right? Because why? It makes no sense to anybody, I'm sure, but I don't know. Maybe it makes sense to the people leaving tampons in both these cities. Wouldn't it be funny if it was just like one person leaving various feminine hygiene products, you know, for like menstrual needs, like unused, but just like hanging around on the street in both these cities? If it was like just this one person, you know, going back and forth doing this, that would be entertaining. But yeah, feel free to contribute to, like, feel free to encourage me with delicious monies via Patreon or PayPal tip jar, or, you know, like I said, I've got an Amazon wish list because my birthday's coming up in about 2.5 weeks. So feel free to send me shiny things and I will open them up on camera and give you huge thank yous over a video, right? And it will be amazing, or at least vaguely entertaining to some people, I suppose. Because the last couple times I did that, people were at least moderately entertained by it. I don't question what people like, right? As long as it's not ultimately harmful, right? And nobody's harmed by you deciding with, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, and huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. My friend Ali Valkyrie, American expat living in France. She's a polytheist and anti-capitalist blogger. One of the great minds behind the Gods and Radicals webzine. Also, my friend Susie Bika, Canadian artist and illustrator. She's been commissioned by Green Party Canada to illustrate a couple of pamphlets. And also to Karen L, aka Curious Cat 1920, who's just a very sweet person on YouTube and Instagram who decides that, you know, who's decided that that she wishes to encourage my nonsense in this way. For which I'm very grateful. Also, stay tuned. I should have a couple of I should have an EP coming out very soon. I'm arguing with my software. That's what's been with the delay with this, is like I'm having arguments with software, as I always do, but that's okay. Other than that, wear your sunscreen and otherwise take good care of yourselves and have exactly the kind of day that you deserve. What exactly that means is, you know, like, up to the universe, I suppose. Oh, that's why this is stuck. Okay. Yeah. Why did I not wait until this was over to untangle that? Because ADHD impulses, right? I'm not best at organizing tasks, right? So yeah, other than that, bats and kisses, nosta ahuil.